Imagine doing everything right. Like, you help her move her heady furniture across town on a Saturday morning.
Right, ruining your entire weekend.
Exactly. You take a look at that weird rattling noise under the hood of her car. You are the rock-solid, dependable, communicative guy.
The guy everyone says women want.
Yeah, and you still get completely ghosted. Meanwhile, the guy who did absolutely nothing for her, like the dude who left her on read for 3 days and barely put any effort into the conversation, he somehow gets all of her affection, all her time, and all her enthusiasm.
It happens every single day.
It really does. And most men don't realize they are actively giving away their most valuable asset for absolutely free until it's already too late. And then they're just staring at their phone wondering what went wrong.
Well, this dynamic is quietly pushing millions of guys to just opt out entirely. You know, it is not just a few isolated incidents anymore. We are watching a massive, undeniable shift in the whole modern dating landscape right now.
Oh, 100%. And that is the mission of this deep dive today. We really want to dissect exactly what is driving this wedge between men and women. Because on one side, you have this growing demographic of women who, they spent their 20s loudly proclaiming their total independence.
The whole "I don't need a man" face.
Right. But now they are suddenly terrified of being single as they hit a certain age. And on the flip side, you have guys who are stepping back, looking at I guess you could call it the behavioral economics of the dating market and quietly choosing to stay single.
Because why play a game where the rules are constantly stacked against you, right? Today, we are really digging into the utility trap, like how men get boxed into being unpaid contractors instead of actual romantic partners, and how you can navigate a market that just feels increasingly transactional.
That transition, though, from fiercely independent to terrified of being single, it is jarring. I want to start right there because I see this playing out constantly. Let me paint a picture for you that perfectly captures the psychology of this shift.
Go for it.
So I was hearing about this exact scenario the other day. It is 1:30 in the morning. A woman is standing at a gas station, pumping gas into her car because she has been running on empty for like 3 days.
Naturally.
Yeah. And she stops the pump at exactly $25.25. And she is standing there in the cold, literally in tears.
Wait, in tears just over pumping gas?
Yes. Not because she experienced some grand tragedy, right, but because the sheer mundane friction of adult life has suddenly become overwhelming. She is complaining that she shouldn't have to worry about paying for gas or coming to a sketchy station in the middle of the night or standing there putting it in her car.
Oh, wow.
She is essentially crying out that she just doesn't want to do the maintenance of life anymore, and she needs someone to step in and handle it for her.
Well, if we pull back the layers on that $25 fill-up, I mean, we find that the gas is really just the tipping point, right? It is the catalyst for a much deeper existential panic.
Yeah.
What is the actual context surrounding her standing at that pump?
See, the context changes everything. Because in this specific scenario, she is turning 30 the very next day.
Ah, there it is. The epiphany of 30.
Exactly. She is single, she is currently unemployed, she is living back at home with her parents, and the reality of her life is just miles away from the vision she had for herself at 22.
Sure, which is a tough pill to swallow.
It is. But the part that really sent her into the spiral wasn't just the career setback or the living situation. The breaking point was actually the dating apps.
Really, the apps pushed her over the edge.
Yeah, because she admitted that all the younger, attractive, successful guys she actually wants to date, they are setting their Hinge and Tinder age filters to a strict 29.
Oh, that is brutal. The algorithms are literally screening her out overnight.
Literally.
Yeah.
So standing at this gas station, facing 30, she is making this grand announcement that she is finally, quote, ready to be tied down. She openly admits she spent the last decade being the girl saying, I don't need a man, but now she's deciding she needs one.
Well, we see this psychological pivot constantly. And it is driven by a sudden realization of market value and life's inevitable friction. For a decade, the narrative she subscribed to was total self-sufficiency.
Right.
And let us be objective here, that I don't need a man. Rhetoric is incredibly intoxicating in your early 20s. When you are 23, your dating market value is at its absolute peak.
You are playing the game on easy mode.
Exactly. You are insulated. Men are approaching you effortlessly, offering to buy you drinks, take you to dinners, and accommodate your schedule. The world just bends to you. But then the reality of adult life sets in.
The insulation wears off.
Right, it wears off completely. Adult life is full of tedious, unglamorous, blue-collar friction. Things break, bills pile up, and suddenly the sheer exhaustion of managing everything alone just hits you like a freight train.
But I have to challenge the logic here, or at least, play devil's advocate for the guys trying to make sense of this, because we hear this fierce, unapologetic independence for 10 straight years. They are building careers, traveling, living their best lives. Then suddenly, the patio door handle breaks off, the lawn needs to be mowed, the gas tank is empty at 1 a.m., and they want a husband. What is the actual mechanism driving this 180-degree turn?
Because it feels crazy to the guys watching it happen.
It feels like complete emotional whiplash. If you didn't need a partner to thrive at 24, why is it suddenly a massive emergency at 30?
Well, it feels like whiplash because men and women often define the word partnership very differently in this specific context. This is what we call the utility trap.
Okay, break that down for me.
The mechanism driving this isn't a sudden romantic awakening where she realizes the deep value of building a shared life with a man. That is the illusion that trips men up.
Right, guys hear I want a husband and think it means a real partnership.
Exactly. When a woman in this specific state of panic says, I am ready for a husband, a guy hears, she's ready to be a collaborative partner. But if you strip away the romantic language and listen to what these women are actually complaining about, they aren't offering a traditional partnership.
You mean they aren't offering the reciprocal side of the dynamic?
Right. You don't hear them saying, I have spent the last 10 years focusing on myself, and now I am so eager to pour my energy into a man.
Yeah, you never hear that part.
No, never. You don't hear, I want to support him while he builds his business, I want to pack his lunch, I want to create a warm home environment, and I want to be his peace. The complaints are entirely centered around their own inconvenience.
It is always about the broken patio door.
Yes. It is, my patio door is broken and I can't fix it. Or, I had to drag my trash cans down the driveway in the rain. They are adults living in the real world, but they want to outsource the physical and logistical friction of adulthood to a man. And this is triggering what I call the male awakening.
The realization that they are being recruited for a job, not a relationship.
The math simply doesn't add up for men anymore. A guy looks at a woman who is suddenly demanding he step in to fix her door, mow her lawn, and pay for her lifestyle, and he thinks about her 20s.
He looks at her track record.
Exactly. For the last 10 years, she gave her time, her affection, and her youth to guys who didn't have to do any of this heavy lifting.
Yeah, the guys from her past weren't fixing patio doors.
Those guys didn't fix a thing. They just showed up at 10 p.m., had fun, and left. So the modern guy is looking at this and asking, why should I, the guy who was actually expected to commit, be saddled with all the physical labor and financial burden that the guys in her past never had to shoulder?
That thought process is everywhere right now. Guys are asking themselves why they are paying a premium tax for the exact same access that a guy 5 years ago got for free.
It is the ultimate bad deal.
It is like being asked to pay double the sticker price for a used car just because it now needs a new transmission and a set of tires. It violates basic market logic.
Yeah, that's a perfect analogy.
And guys are waking up to the fact that if they have their lives together, like if they have a solid job, their own place, emotional stability, and the ability to actually solve problems, they are actually the prize in this equation. A partner who just wants to exist and be served is a liability, not a prize.
Merely existing is not a relationship skill, period. Yet a significant portion of this demographic operates under the assumption that their mere presence is enough to warrant a man stepping into the role of a full-time, unpaid handyman.
And it is creating a massive chasm.
A huge one. Men are recognizing that their utility, their ability to provide, protect, and problem solve is incredibly valuable. They are no longer willing to give it away to someone who views them as a utility belt rather than a human being.
Yeah, that perfectly ties into the whole myth of the intimidating independent woman. We hear this constantly, right? Women who claim they are fiercely independent, making six figures, living their best boss life, but in the next breath, they're complaining that dating is impossible because men are just intimidated by their success.
It is a fascinating defense mechanism because the definition of independence seems to fluctuate wildly based on whatever is most convenient in that exact moment.
Oh, absolutely. Let me give you a real-world scenario that highlights this paradox perfectly. So picture a highly successful woman. She makes great money. She is proud of her career. She considers herself an independent boss. She decides to move to a new apartment.
Okay, sounds normal so far.
Right. But instead of hiring professional movers, she is out there in flip-flops, sweating, hauling heavy luggage and awkwardly shaped dining chairs up 3 flights of stairs entirely by herself.
And flip-flops. That is just a disaster waiting to happen.
A total disaster. And she's complaining to anyone who will listen about how exhausted she is and how unfair it is that she has to do this manual labor alone. But then she pivots to that defensive complaint.
Let me guess. It is the men's fault somehow.
Exactly. She says, men claim they love strong, independent women. But the reality is, it is disheartening to date as a successful woman because men secretly hate us. They are too intimidated by my success to approach me.
I hear this narrative from highly successful women all the time.
Right. So are guys actually intimidated? Do men secretly harbor a hatred for independent women?
This gives us a great opportunity to look at the psychology objectively and just dismantle that assumption. Let us be very clear. Men do not hate independent women.
Right.
Men are not lying awake at night terrified of a woman's salary or her advanced degree or her ability to secure her own mortgage. What men are actively avoiding is how that independence is weaponized within the dynamic of a relationship.
Weaponized independence. That is an interesting phrase. How does a W-2 or a mortgage get weaponized?
Well, I call it the mi casa es su casa trap. Think about the refrigerator analogy.
Okay, the refrigerator analogy. Tell me about that.
Imagine a successful woman invites a guy over to the condo she bought herself. She's rightfully proud of her achievement. When they start dating, she creates this illusion of a welcoming, cooperative environment. She tells him, make yourself at home. Mi casa es su casa.
Sounds great on the surface.
Right, but the absolute second there is friction, like a disagreement, a bad mood, or just a moment where she feels the need to assert dominance. The script completely flips.
The cooperative illusion shatters.
Instantly. Suddenly, she is saying, did you pay for that plate you were eating off of? Close my refrigerator door, you didn't buy that food, you didn't put it on this mortgage.
Wow, just pulling the rug out from under him.
Exactly. She takes the very resources she built, and instead of using them as a foundation to build a shared life, she uses them as a bludgeon. She uses her success to remind the man that he is merely a guest in her kingdom.
That is toxic.
It creates an environment where he has to constantly prove he is better or more successful just to justify his presence rather than acting as a teammate.
It basically becomes a tool for leverage. I see that. And men step back from this not because they are insecure about her making more money, but because nobody wants to date their landlord.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to come home to a relationship where the other person is constantly auditing their contribution and holding their own success over their head as a threat. It sounds exhausting.
It is exhausting. A man who has his own life together looks at that combative dynamic and just opts out. I mean, think about it. If a woman approached a man and said, look, I have built a great career, I own my home, I have resources, let us combine our strengths and build an empire together.
Men would love that.
Men would be incredibly attracted to that. That is a cooperative building mentality. But that requires vulnerability and a willingness to share power, which weaponized independence entirely avoids.
It is much easier to just be defensive.
Right. Instead, they use their success to say, I have achieved all this, therefore I am the ultimate prize, and I demand a man who out-earns me, outperforms me, and caters to me. Men are simply refusing to participate in that power struggle anymore.
The irony here is just so thick, especially going back to the woman hauling luggage in flip-flops, because we see the real-time cost of this non-cooperation. These women brag about their financial independence, but they absolutely refuse to spend their own money on things that would actually solve their problems.
It's like paying for professional movers.
Exactly. They will easily drop $2,000 on a designer bag or a luxury weekend trip, right? But paying a guy a couple $100 to move heavy furniture, suddenly they are victims of circumstance. They expect a man to just organically appear and provide that physical labor for free, simply because they exist.
It reveals a significant misalignment in how they view relationships. If you spend your 20s projecting a combative, I don't need you energy, you actively push away the men who want to build a cooperative partnership.
You burn the bridge before you even need to cross it.
Exactly. You destroy the social reliance that relationships are built on.
Yeah.
You cannot spend a decade telling men they are obsolete, and then get frustrated when there isn't a line of men waiting to carry your couch up 3 flights of stairs. You have lost your leverage.
You either have to hit the gym for some serious shoulder workouts and do it yourself, or you have to open your wallet and pay a contractor.
Yep, the expectation of a free ride based on romantic potential is over.
And this expectation of free labor leads us into some truly wild territory. We have talked about moving and mowing lawns, but the specific, almost dangerous tasks these women expect men to handle, and the mistake men make by stepping in, is just staggering.
The tasks themselves often highlight a complete abdication of basic adult survival skills.
Exactly. Have you heard of this concept gaining traction online called the pink collar girl?
I have, and it is fascinating.
It is this proudly adopted identity where women declare they want to rent a boyfriend because they absolutely refuse to do what they classify as blue-collar chores. They view themselves as purely pink collar, meaning they only do the aesthetic, pleasant aspects of life.
From a psychological standpoint, that is cultivated helplessness. What does that actually look like when it plays out in the real world?
It looks dangerous. I mean, I was reading a story recently about a woman who decided on a total whim that she was going to change her own engine coolant.
Okay, points for initiative, I guess.
Which, sure, points for initiative. But she has zero mechanical knowledge and didn't bother to research it at all. Nobody told her that an engine is essentially a pressurized kettle of boiling chemicals.
Oh no. Please tell me she did.
Oh, she did. She goes out there, opens the radiator cap on a hot engine, and boiling coolant explodes directly into her face.
That is horrific.
She goes to the emergency room, and the doctor tells her she is incredibly lucky she didn't permanently disfigure her face. It is a terrifying situation.
It is. But the critical piece here is how she internalizes that experience. What is her takeaway from almost getting severely burned?
Well, you would think her takeaway would be, wow, I should really learn the basic mechanics of the 2-ton machine I drive every day so I can be safe.
Right, some personal accountability.
Nope. Her takeaway is to double down on the helplessness. She publicly vows to never, ever touch a vehicle again. She states that whenever anything breaks in her house or goes wrong with her car, she refuses to learn how to fix it. She says she just needs a man to step in because she is a pink-collar girl.
She is actively romanticizing her inability to function as an independent adult. She wants a man to serve as a literal buffer between her and the physical reality of the world.
A human shield for adult chores.
Exactly. Let us layer in another scenario that perfectly illustrates the economic imbalance men are facing when they step into that buffer role.
Oh, the 6-week relationship illusion. This one blew my mind because it maps out the behavioral economics of modern dating so perfectly.
Let's hear it.
So there's a hyper-independent woman, a business owner. She is moving her office across town. She is complaining bitterly online about having to carry heavy office desks and a massive set of shelves up 4 flights of stairs in the pouring rain.
It's awful.
Right. She is talking about driving a rented truck, loading it herself, dragging this solid wood desk 50 meters through the mud because it kept falling over. Her dad wasn't available to help, so she is just exhausted, physically drained, and talking about how she desperately wishes she had a man to handle this for her.
Well, it sounds like a miserable, grueling day.
Yeah.
You can understand the frustration in the moment.
Absolutely, anyone would hate that. But here is a detail that completely changes the context. In the middle of this rant about needing a man to do her heavy lifting, she casually drops the fact that she was just dumped 2 weeks prior.
Okay.
And she was dumped from a 6-week relationship. She brushes it off like it is nothing, says, guess that didn't count, and goes right back to complaining about how she has been single for years and needs a man to help her move.
This right here requires some brutal, objective analysis. Because this is the free labor paradox, and it is the exact reason men are withdrawing their commitment. Let us break down the reality of her situation.
Please do.
Over the course of her dating life, every single guy she entertained, every guy she gave her time and affection to, did any of them have to change her tire? Did they have to fix her plumbing or carry a solid wood desk up 4 flights of stairs in a rainstorm to earn her attention?
No, they definitely did not.
Let us look specifically at the guy from the 6-week relationship. Let us be real, 6 weeks is not a relationship. It is an extended, exclusive hookup.
A trial run that ended.
Right. That guy showed up, enjoyed her company, likely slept with her, had a great time, and then walked away without investing any real commitment or doing a single ounce of blue-collar labor. He extracted all the romantic and physical benefits of her company completely free of charge.
He got the premium all-access pass with 0 maintenance fees.
Precisely. And now, this woman expects the next guy who comes along, the new guy trying to date her, to prove his worth by doing the heavy lifting in the rain. She wants a new man to provide intense physical labor and logistical support for a level of access that she handed over effortlessly to a guy who had no intention of staying.
When you put it like that, it is just wild.
This is the cognitive dissonance guys are reacting to. Why should a new man have to jump through flaming hoops of manual labor to earn her respect when she required absolutely none of that from the men in her past?
It is an incredibly bad deal, and this is the core insight for anyone listening, honestly. A man's non-sexual attention is his absolute most valuable currency in the dating market.
100%.
Your ability to fix things, to provide a sense of security, to be the rock in a crisis, to help her out of a jam that is high-tier, long-term value. Men make a massive mistake when they hand that out for free just because a woman complains she can't do something.
Men really need to understand the stark difference between sexual access and non-sexual utility. In the modern dating market, women can often secure a man's sexual attention relatively easily.
Oh, very easily.
But securing a man's non-sexual attention, getting a man to take her seriously, to commit to her future, to spend his Saturday under her sink fixing a pipe, that requires a completely different level of investment.
It is a totally different ballpark.
Right. When guys give that non-sexual attention away without requiring genuine cooperative partnership in return, they aren't building attraction. They're just being used. They become unpaid TaskRabbits.
You are not her boyfriend. You are a contractor working for $0 an hour. So if men are waking up to this reality and they are actively withholding their utility and their non-sexual attention, what happens to the dating market as a whole?
It completely destabilizes.
Which brings us to the current state of app fatigue and why trying to meet people organically feels like a nightmare right now.
The market is in the middle of a massive correction. Expectations are completely out of alignment with reality, and it is leaving a lot of people incredibly frustrated.
Let us look at the reality of these dating ecosystems, using a major city like Houston as a prime example. Women in these metropolitan areas are actively complaining that the dating scene is bizarra, just absolute garbage.
Bizarra, I've heard that.
Yeah, they are saying they have been on Hinge and Bumble for 5 straight years, and they are literally seeing the exact same guys circulating in a digital recycling bin. They tweak their algorithms, they update their photos, they change their prompt answers, and nothing changes. The digital ecosystem is completely stagnant.
The apps have gamified dating to the point of total exhaustion. The illusion of infinite choice has actually paralyzed the market. But what is their experience when they try to step away from the apps and meet people in the real world?
That is where the frustration really peaks. They claim that no one approaches them organically anymore. A lot of women feel like the visual hyperinflation of the market has made them invisible.
Visual hyperinflation.
Yeah, they feel that unless they have a very specific extreme aesthetic like a BBL, which for those who don't know is a Brazilian butt lift, a highly invasive cosmetic surgery that has become somewhat normalized, unless they have fake breasts and drive a luxury car, men won't even look at them.
It's an extreme standard.
They try to dress classy, they go out to nice bars, and they are just ignored.
Well, we have to look at the behavioral economics here too.
Yeah.
Because they are frustrated by the lack of attention, but they also complain bitterly about the quality of the attention they do receive when a guy finally does approach them.
Oh, that is a major point of friction. These same women who complain about being ignored will also talk about guys who do approach them, who flirt with them, make them feel special, text them for a week, and then just completely disappear out of nowhere without a word.
The classic ghosting.
Exactly. They are devastated by the ghosting. And while I understand it is a tough experience, I have to step back and ask, haven't guys been dealing with this exact same flaking and ghosting behavior from women for decades?
Decades.
Yeah.
I mean, it is practically a rite of passage for men in the dating world. This is what I call the karma of ghosting. There's a massive, unspoken double standard at play here.
Oh, absolutely.
For years, women have been entirely accustomed to handing out this exact treatment. They flake on dates an hour before, they ghost guys they've been texting for weeks, they dub guys at the bar.
Right, getting dubbed.
And by dubbing, I mean the act of completely rejecting a guy's approach, often by just ignoring him, rolling their eyes, or taking the drink he bought and just walking away. It was considered standard operating procedure.
It was just part of the game. I just wasn't feeling his vibe, right? No explanation or closure necessary.
But now that the market dynamics have shifted, now that men are adopting those same ruthless filtering strategies, and it is happening to them, they genuinely cannot comprehend it. It feels like a deeply personal attack.
The hypocrisy is crazy.
Meanwhile, you have guys looking at this saying, I have been ghosted 50 times this year alone. I have been flaked on when I was already sitting at the restaurant table. Welcome to the reality of the market. The brutal truth is that the old, passive advice is completely dead.
You mean the advice of just waiting for things to happen organically? Oh, just be patient. You'll meet someone in the grocery store. Your friends will set you up.
That ship has sunk. The modern dating market is a highly competitive free-for-all. And if you look at the demographics and the behavior of the men these women actually want, it paints a very clear picture.
Break down the demographics for us.
The top-tier 40-year-old men, the guys who spent 2 decades building their wealth, their status, and their emotional intelligence, they're operating with maximum leverage. And they're largely aiming for 20-year-old women. They want youth and peace.
Yep, they have the leverage to get what they want.
On the other hand, the 30-year-old men, the guys in the exact same age bracket as the women we are talking about, they have learned the game. They've realized that committing early just leads to being used for their utility.
So they opt out of the commitment.
They often just want to hook up and move on.
Yeah.
So the men, these 30-something women are trying to lock down, fall into 2 distinct categories. They're either having their absolute way with the market and refusing to settle down, or they're staying entirely single, opting out of the drama and focusing on stacking their money.
And neither of those guys is looking to rescue someone.
Right. Neither group is looking to rescue a woman who suddenly realized adulting is hard.
So if the traditional passive approaches are dead, if the apps are just a recycling bin of the same guys, and the high-value men are either playing the field or staying home, what strategy actually works? It seems like the only women who are finding success in this environment are the ones who are completely throwing out the rule book and flipping the script.
Well, the passive strategy of waiting to be chosen is failing catastrophically. The women who are actually getting the results they want are adopting a highly proactive, highly intentional strategy.
Which brings us to a fascinating behavioral shift, the concept of sharking. This is a paradigm shift that completely alters the dynamic of a room, and I think every guy needs to understand the psychology behind it because it changes how you have to operate.
Let us define the parameters of this behavior. What does sharking actually look like in the real world?
It is a radically refreshing, almost aggressive mindset. It is women taking the initiative to approach men, but with zero hesitation and extreme intent. Let us look at the anatomy of a sharking move.
Walk me through it.
99% of women will go to a bar, dress up, stand in a group with their friends, and just wait. They wait for guys they aren't even attracted to awkwardly approach them, offer to buy a drink, and try to make conversation.
Very inefficient.
Right. A woman with the sharking mindset views that as horribly inefficient. She walks into a venue with the mindset of a CEO making a business acquisition. She scans the room, bypasses the noise, finds the one guy she finds genuinely attractive, and she walks straight up to him and initiates the interaction. She completely bypasses the traditional courtship dance.
She is taking total agency over her dating outcomes. From an evolutionary psychology standpoint, it is complete inversion of traditional courtship roles.
Completely. Her rationale is based on time and efficiency. She is thinking, time is money. Why am I going to waste my Friday night rejecting 5 guys I don't want when I can just walk across the room and secure the one guy I do want?
That makes a lot of sense.
She views the passive women waiting by the bar as minnows, and she operates as a shark.
From a purely strategic standpoint, it is brilliant. She eliminates the competition by acting before the competition even realizes the game has started. But what I find truly fascinating is the psychological impact this has on the men on the receiving end of that approach.
Oh, it literally short-circuits their brains.
It does. Because men are not socially or evolutionarily conditioned to be the passive receiver of an aggressive approach. We are conditioned from birth to be the pursuers, to face the rejection, to drive the interaction forward.
Right, guys are always the ones initiating.
So when a woman walks up with that level of unbridled confidence and direct intent, the male operating system just crashes. Even highly successful, traditionally attractive guys will freeze. They fumble the interaction because they do not have a script for being the one who is aggressively chosen.
They get suspicious, They think it is a prank, or they get insecure, or they just nervously laugh because they don't know how to lead the conversation once she has already broken the ice and essentially handed them the reins.
Which is exactly why relying on instinct just isn't enough in this market. The rules of engagement are shifting rapidly. Whether you are the one doing the approaching or you are suddenly targeted by a highly proactive woman who is sharking you, you cannot rely on luck or outdated social scripts.
You need a foundation.
You need a rock-solid, underlying foundation of confidence. You need to understand the actual mechanics of attraction, how to hold your frame when the dynamic flips, and how to communicate effectively without getting rattled.
Because if your software crashes, you need a new operating system. And this is where having a framework is so vital. You can't just wing it when a shark swims up to you. And you definitely can't wing it if you want to stand up from the recycling bin on the dating apps.
Yeah, exactly.
If someone is looking for a structured roadmap for building that confidence and handling those high-pressure interactions, whether you are initiating or being approached, that is actually something stealth attraction does really well.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys struggle with the ambiguity of modern dating, and some men prefer learning through a structured program. It gives guys a step-by-step framework to understand the psychology of attraction instead of leaving them to guess. It is a solid resource for handling these shifting dynamics without losing your footing or compromising your value.
Having a structured understanding really removes that panic response.
Right.
It allows you to stay grounded and observe the interaction objectively. And returning to the broader point of this deep dive, the individuals who adapt to this new reality are the ones who will succeed.
Absolutely.
The women who go after what they want with intention will win. The women who stubbornly sit on the sidelines, complaining about the friction of life and waiting for an unpaid handyman to magically appear and fix their patio door, will remain frustrated.
They will stay at the gas station crying.
Right. And for the men listening, the mandate is equally clear. You must adapt your strategy to protect your value.
You have to know your worth, and you have to know how to enforce boundaries. Which brings us to the ultimate synthesis of everything we have unpacked today. The days of trading your physical labor, your problem-solving skills, and your non-sexual attention just for the vague hope of a romantic relationship are over.
It is an economically and emotionally losing strategy. The core takeaway here is boundary enforcement. Do not let yourself fall into the utility trap.
Say no to the trap.
Your ability to fix cars, to navigate crises, to move heavy furniture, to provide emotional stability, that is incredibly valuable. That is top-tier, long-term husband material.
It is the ultimate premium package.
So do not give it away to someone who is just looking for a contractor to make her life easier. Do not offer premium boyfriend privileges to a woman who spent her past giving herself away for free to men who offer her absolutely nothing in return.
You have to draw a line.
If you want to be treated as a high-value prize, you have to protect your assets. And in the dating market, your time, your labor, and your non-sexual attention are your most valuable assets.
It comes down to respecting yourself enough to look at a bad deal and just say no. Because if you are listening right now and you have ever found yourself sweating under a sink on a Saturday afternoon for a girl who wouldn't commit to you, or carrying a couch up 3 flights of stairs for someone who leaves you on read, you know exactly how hollow and frustrating that feels. You have to demand more from the dynamic.
You have to demand a reciprocal partnership, not just an assignment.
Which leaves us with this final thought to chew on. We started this deep dive by talking about the guy who does everything right, the dependable guy who still gets ghosted, the guy who gets trapped being the handyman.
Right.
But think about the flip side of that dynamic. If a woman's true, burning desire for you isn't tied to what you can fix for her, what you can lift for her, or what you can pay for, how do you actually measure her genuine attraction to you? The next time you are asked for a favor by a woman you are dating, before you grab your tools or your wallet or your car keys, pause and ask yourself, is this request building a real reciprocal partnership, or am I just being treated like an unpaid contractor?